Healing after loss. Finding your way back to life. Loss. It's a word that can make our hearts stop, a word that carries the weight of 1,000 unspoken emotions. And it's something that every single one of us will experience in our lives. Whether it's the passing of a loved one, the end of a relationship, or even the loss of a dream, grief can feel like a tidal wave, pulling us under. It can be tempting to try and outrun it, to numb the pain. But healing starts with acknowledging the loss, giving ourselves permission to feel it all. In this video, we'll explore 10 ways to navigate grief, from honoring your emotions to seeking support and finding meaning in pain. The first step in healing is often the hardest, giving ourselves permission to grieve. We live in a culture that often wants to rush us through grief, to slap a band-aid on a gaping wound and tell us to move on. But grief has its own timeline, its own rhythm and flow. There's no right or wrong way to grieve, and there's no set timetable. Some days you might feel like you can conquer the world, while others, just getting out of bed can feel like climbing a mountain. Allow yourself to feel the waves of sadness, the anger, the confusion. Don't judge your emotions, just let them be. Cry if you need to, scream into a pillow. Write down everything swirling in your mind. Remember, you are human, and you are allowed to hurt. This process of honoring your grief is where true healing begins. Grief can feel incredibly isolating, like you're trapped inside your own head with a storm raging around you. That's why finding healthy ways to express your emotions is so crucial. Talking to someone you trust, a friend, a family member, a therapist, can be like letting the light back into a darkened room. Sharing your pain, your fears, your memories can help you process the complex emotions that come with loss. And it doesn't have to be just words. Sometimes language fails us, and that's where creative expression can be a lifeline. Journaling allows you to pour your heart out without judgment. Painting, drawing, playing music, or writing poetry can be powerful outlets for emotions that words can't quite capture. The key is to find what resonates with you, what helps you unlock those feelings and let them flow. When you're grieving, the world can feel chaotic and unpredictable. Everything seems off-kilter, and it's easy to feel unmoored, lost in a sea of emotions. That's where the power of routine comes in. Establishing even a simple daily routine can be like throwing a life preserver to yourself in the midst of a storm. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate. Start with the basics. Make sure you're eating regular meals even if you don't feel like it. Prioritize sleep, even though it might feel elusive. Go for a walk, even if it's just around the block. These small acts of self-care might seem insignificant, but they provide a sense of structure, a feeling of control in a time when everything feels out of control. And as you start to regain a sense of normalcy, you'll find that you have the strength to face each new day. You don't have to walk alone. One of the most insidious lies grief tells us is that we have to go through it alone, that our pain is ours to bear in silence. But the truth is, we are wired for connection, especially in times of hardship. Reaching out to others, allowing ourselves to be vulnerable and receive support, is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of incredible strength. If you feel comfortable, share your story with trusted friends and family. Let them know what you need, whether it's a shoulder to cry on, a listening ear, or practical help with everyday tasks. Consider joining a support group, either online or in person. Being surrounded by others who have experienced loss can create a sense of community and understanding that can be incredibly healing. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. Nurturing your body and mind. When we're grieving, it's easy to neglect our physical health. We might forget to eat, or we might turn to unhealthy coping mechanisms to numb the pain. But the truth is, taking care of our physical well-being is even more important during times of emotional distress. Exercise, even gentle movement like walking or stretching, releases endorphins that can help improve mood and reduce stress. Eating nutritious foods provides our bodies with the fuel they need to navigate difficult emotions. And don't underestimate the power of relaxation techniques like deep breathing, meditation, or yoga. These practices can help calm the nervous system, quiet the mind, and bring a sense of peace and stillness to your body. Remember, healing is a holistic journey that involves caring for your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. Honoring the love, honoring the loss. Loss often leaves a void in our lives, a space where someone or something we cherished once resided. It's natural to want to hold on to memories, to keep the spirit of what we've lost alive in our hearts. Creating a tribute can be a beautiful way to honor what you've lost. It could be something tangible, like a scrapbook filled with photos and mementos, a letter written to the person or dream you're grieving, or a piece of art that expresses your emotions. It could also be a personal ritual, like lighting a candle on special anniversaries, or volunteering for a cause that was close to their heart. These acts of remembrance are not about holding on to the past, but about finding meaningful ways to carry the love, the lessons, and the memories forward. The gift of self-compassion. Grief can be a messy, unpredictable journey, and it's easy to get caught up in self-criticism and judgment. It is pain that never goes away. This could be a tune loved by your loved one unexpectedly played in the supermarket, or the smell of their perfume all of a sudden. We might berate ourselves for not being over it yet, or compare our grief to others, wondering why we're not coping better. But here's the truth. There's no right way to grieve, and comparing your journey to someone else's only adds unnecessary suffering. Instead of judging yourself for how you feel, practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a dear friend going through a difficult time. Allow yourself to feel your emotions without judgment, and remember that healing takes time. Be patient with yourself, and celebrate the small victories along the way. When you're in the depths of grief, it can be hard to imagine ever experiencing joy again. The world might seem muted, devoid of color and light. But even in the darkest of times, there are still glimmers of hope, moments of beauty and connection that remind us of life's preciousness. Engaging in meaningful activities can be a powerful way to reconnect with joy and purpose. It might be volunteering your time to help others, which can bring a sense of fulfillment and connection. It could be revisiting old hobbies that once brought you joy or trying something completely new. Maybe it's simply taking the time to appreciate the small things. A beautiful sunset, a good cup of coffee, a heartfelt conversation with a loved one. These moments of joy might seem fleeting at first, but they are proof that even in the midst of pain, life can still be beautiful. Grief is a natural part of the human experience, but sometimes it can feel like it's too much to bear alone. If you're struggling to cope with loss, if the pain feels overwhelming or persistent, it's essential to know that seeking professional help is a sign of strength, not weakness. If you're experiencing prolonged sadness, loss of interest in things you once enjoyed, difficulty sleeping, changes in appetite, or thoughts of harming yourself or others, it's crucial to reach out to a mental health professional. A therapist can provide a safe and supportive space to process your grief, develop healthy coping mechanisms, and navigate the challenges of loss. Remember, you don't have to go through this alone. Loss, as devastating as it is, can also be a catalyst for profound personal growth. It has a way of shifting our perspective, of stripping away the superficial and revealing what truly matters in life. As you move through the grieving process, take time to reflect on how you've changed, what lessons you've learned, and how this experience has shaped you. You might find that you have a newfound appreciation for the fragility of life, a deeper capacity for empathy and compassion, or a stronger sense of your own resilience. While the pain of loss might never fully disappear, it can gradually soften, making space for new joys, new dreams, and a deeper understanding of yourself and the world around you. Remember, healing is not about forgetting or erasing the past, but about learning to live with the loss, to carry it with you in a way that honors your experience and allows you to continue growing and loving. Loss is an inevitable part of the human experience, but it doesn't have to define us. By understanding the grieving process, by giving ourselves permission to feel our emotions fully, and by embracing healthy coping strategies, we can navigate the choppy waters of grief and emerge stronger, more resilient, and more connected to ourselves and others. Remember, healing is not a linear journey. It's a process filled with ebbs and flows, moments of progress and setbacks. Be kind to yourself, celebrate your strength, and know that you don't have to walk this path alone. The Holy Spirit is the ever-present help. Reach out and grief will be replaced with joy that makes no sense and peace that surpass your understanding. If this video has resonated with you, if you found comfort or guidance in these words, please share it with someone who might be struggling with loss. Sometimes the greatest act of courage is simply reaching out and letting someone know they're not alone.